Hello and welcome back to Farawa. This is the last video in the Washington Adventure series. Just a little disclaimer beforehand, I am sick again this year, so I apologize if my voice sounds a little different. We're going to start the morning by making some tea. My uncle and aunt have a very large pantry and a lot of tea, so I decided to try some new flavors, but of course add honey. And a little more. So we are going to begin some baking. I am going to my apple flat cake video from a few autumns ago and using the instructions from there.
Recipe is a single pan.
I added some apple peach compote I made here and set it to bake. Then I went out to take a walk to the nearby fishing cove my cousin showed us. I took a stick to hopefully prevent me from walking through so many spiderwebs as I have tended to do throughout this trip. While we do have ferns at home, these ones were a lot bigger. I was not used to being among so many coniferous trees all the time. Our property at home consists mainly of deciduous trees. I keep saying it on this trip, but it was like something out of a movie, and I felt kind of like a real explorer. Finally, I arrived at the spot. It is a short cliff ledge to the water. We had climbed down to go fishing, but since I was alone, I decided to stay up top. I waited to see if I would be lucky enough to spot some otters or seals. I think my cousin once said he even saw dolphins here.
I don't think you can see it, but there have been some creatures popping above and below the surface. And I hope they're seals. They might just be cormorants. Or they might be otters, but they're never up long enough for me to focus my camera on them. That's okay. Yesterday we saw a little baby harbor seal just staring at us while we fished, which was really cute. Oh, the fish jumped. Maybe that means there is an otter or a seal nearby, and that would be pretty cool. So we climbed down there onto those rocks yesterday and did some fishing. Alright, I think that I'm going to head back now and collect some plants along the way.
I stayed for some while until my cake timer went off, and I headed back to the house. On the way, I gathered some usnea moss.
So I am on the lookout for usnea, which looks like that, but I'm going to try to find it on the ground or on downed dead branches. My stick! Oh no, gotta get my stick. What is that? I wonder if that's a seal or a rock all the way out there. You can't see it, but Anyway, it is supposed to be better for the plant to harvest usnea when it is already going to be trampled, or my stomach hurts. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you can see this is usnea because it's very strong. When I do this, you can see these little, see that white fiber right there? I'm pretty sure that is how you know it is usnea, like longelia or something. I think this is a dead branch. This one is definitely a downed branch. So, I think this one, yes, this is it. I'm not really sure what difference it makes though, because like, whether the surface it's growing on is dead or alive, the plant is still alive. So I don't really know why it's better to harvest it from a dead branch that has already fallen down as opposed to just a tree, because apparently it grows extremely slowly, so it's better not to just rip it off a tree. I think I'll go for this one. Perfect. Oh, it's a little dry, but it's okay. This one is strange because it's got this like seaweed looking look, and I'm pretty sure usnea, the long version of it, does not look like that. It looks more like that. Oh, good. And I heard that you can make, well, I read that you can make tinctures with it or poultices, and that it is good for a lot of things. These are sword ferns, by the way, and they're very cool. They have these. I found the stick about here, so I'm going to put it back with its family, hopefully. Thank you very much. I also wonder if you can make a dye out of usnea because it gets kind of green powdery. So I'm pretty sure that this patch is already dying because it's been on the ground for a while.
The cake wasn't quite done, so I went back out to pick some huckleberries. After the cake was finally done, we ate it, and it was very good. Later that day, it began to storm. I actually missed viewing a huge storm a few days earlier because I was recording the voiceover to one of the crafting videos on here, but I should have just done that later because I didn't even release it until I got back, but I could hear how wonderful the storm was, and I should have gone out and watched it with my family. Anyway, the thunder was loud, and I gathered some sticks for a fire. I think this will be good. There are far fewer deciduous trees, which is what we usually burn. There are far fewer here than at home. So, I'm guessing this is going to be okay. Let's go back inside. I enjoyed using my aunt and uncle's wood stove and found it not only beautiful but quite cozy. Even though it was summertime, it was still a bit chilly.
RiverFire Glass, so I go up on the roof.
I don't know. They get a lot more rain than we do. Pretty serious rain at the moment.
Yeah, it is now. This was the big one. This is from the operating on pump off. Asked Mama if she heard. She just laid there crying. Yeah. She knew. I'm going to borrow another 10 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I was impressed that Nancy was so insistent.
Yeah. And certain things I tell it I don't want once a month, I want every 6 months, 4 months, or whatever it is. So each month it's a different package.
How any of these stores are going to be able to keep up with it. That's the do delivery. Wow.
But I often find there are certainly things I cannot find on Amazon.
About 2 hours later, we headed out to see some things and stopped at this beach. We drove through a town and went to a beautiful garden in honor of a native chief. I was so surprised when we saw deer on people's lawns. My uncle said it was pretty normal.
Got it.
I can't believe how they just walk around the streets here. Hello. Hi, baby. Got a kiss. She's so pretty.
I then asked for us to pull over because my dad had dreamed of having a dock walk while we were here.
Good, I got it, thank you.
You're welcome.
In the evening, my uncle cut some slabs off of a fallen tree for us to stamp into. These stamps were actually for a rail company,
You totally missed, sweetheart. Try it again.
but my family says it's for my great-grandpa's initials because they're the same as the
If you
rail
would aim
company.
up here, you might get center. That's better.
That looked good. Look at that.
Yeah.
Then my brother and I went to the local beach in the neighborhood as the day began to fade to dusk.
The 16-year-old rapper that's from Seattle.
I painted some rocks while my brother walked in the water, and I also hoped to see the seal for the last time.
It's a seal.
Finally, the seal did come up to observe, and I loved looking at it, thinking maybe it was looking at us with the same wonder and curiosity.
Bye. Goodbye.
It was time to head home. Also, here are all the rocks I painted for my relatives. The final sunrise. I went out with my camera to enjoy the last sunrise I would be seeing in Washington State for a while, and it was beautiful. I walked around for a bit to tour the property again and gaze up at the evergreen trees. Even though there were some downs, like being sick half the trip, adjusting to the time zone, and other things, the memories of this trip are surrounded in positivity and good feelings. I am so grateful for my aunt and uncle who let us stay in their lovely home, and for my parents for organizing this trip. I will miss my aunt and uncle and their dog, and their property, and all of the amazing things I have seen in Washington. It was also lovely to see and even meet more of my dad's side of the family that lived out here on the West Coast that I never usually get to see. I'm now trying to more consistently stay in touch with my relatives on that side. Hopefully I can come back one day and see things that I loved seeing here the first time, or see things I didn't see this time, like the Hoh rainforest. Either way, I am so glad I was able to get this experience and document it all as well. Washington is a beautiful and magical place, very different from back home, but still it feels like a home. It is rooted in strong trees, nature, and water, and just a very, very lovely place to be. Goodbye for now, Washington. Goodbye for now from Farawa.